Another great day. I mean, I think just coming off the practice field, another physical practice. When we put these guys in pads, it's almost like, should we not be going in pads right now? It's just, the guys are ready. They're itching. They're excited. And but we got some great work today. We got to move the ball period at the end, a couple of different situations, just to kind of fine tune some stuff and get ready as we turn around and get ready for game week.
It looked like Damien was out of a red jersey, at least
Yeah.
when we were out there. How much did he participate today?
Yeah, so we had him just full go and individual, so he could body up and really stress himself, see where he's at. But he was still on that pitch count where he didn't take team reps as the practice went on. But he's right on schedule with the progression that we thought. Denny's had a great plan for D-Lou to get back to this point, to start hitting stuff in front of him. So he got some really good contact. He's getting great work, and we expect him to be able to practice full next week.
Dave, how do you manage that energy, though? Because you're still a week plus out, right? Like, you don't want to burn them out, right? How do you sort of balance that?
Yeah, we can't hold back any day we go out there. And because every opportunity, the best way to make mistakes and to find out things is full speed. And then we correct from there. And so we just ask the guys to go there every single time we're on the grass. And as a staff, if we feel like we need to take care of them, then we'll take care of them. We'll take pads off. We'll shorten our periods. We want to get the same amount of work, but there's a way you can dose that to be smart with it. But we just don't want them having to second guess what tempo we practice and we play with, so that we get the full muscle memory that we need.
How's what you're seeing at left tackle right now without Icky looking right now?
Pretty good. Yash was in there today. Brady had some snaps, so they're working. They have the mindset and mentality that we're going to make a decision on who that is by Wednesday as we go into practice, in fairness, for the guy to get those reps. We're not 100% sure who we're going to put out there right now, but they both got really significant snaps today. And so we'll look at the film and we'll make the best decision for the whole group as we get to Wednesday.
Is part of that weighing that, if you have Brady at left tackle, you don't have him as the utility lineman maybe on game day, and you kind of have to figure out multiple spots?
That's a factor, right? That's a factor because Yash gives you the flexibility. He can play either side. So can Brady. But at the same time, it's like, we really just have to put our best foot out there for what we feel is best. So.
Definitely out.
No, he's not. So that's the other thing. We're super hopeful. I'm going to remain hopeful all the way through next week, to try to get him out there, move around and see what he can do. But we just have to have a contingency plan because he cannot practice today. I would not imagine him practicing on Monday either. So we're going to have to try to get him out there as the week goes on.
You guys are off until Monday.
Yes.
the new wide receiver came in today.
Yeah.
What did you see from him in his first practice?
Nate Smith, he was a guy we watched, coming out of A&M. First and foremost, just thought he did a really, really good job of fielding punts, fielding kicks. That's something he's done in his whole career. And, in the little bit we had him, we didn't have him in too many of the team setting. Just in fairness, he just got here, so knowing the plays and all that. But in the individual drills, he looked quick. He's got some power, for being a shorter guy. He's pretty well built. He's done some running back in his past. Really an intriguing prospect, being able to offer multiple things.
I know you only had Hendon out there one day today, but what
Yeah.
kind of jumped out just seeing him in person?
Smooth thrower, a lot of power in his arm. I can tell he's worked on his footwork and his base and fundamentals since college. He looks like he's really dialed into the technique and all that. And so, but again, same thing, was more just an individual period, but I love what I saw today.
He was an older rookie throughout the
Yeah.
process. How much do you think sometimes? I know we look at age and you want us to get those guys younger, but in a quarterback position, how much does that kind of maybe help them in a way?
Yeah, I think for any position, it's just it's kind of life perspective, really, where you get a guy that's 25-ish years old. He's 27. You've seen a lot of life. You've learned lessons. You've been on your own. Kind of keeping your world small so you can keep it organized. And so I've seen that happen in multiple different positions. Quarterback too, yeah, that's important. There's time on task and years that can benefit guys that way. So yeah, he's a grown man. I had a chance to visit with him today and just kind of recap and revisit the last time we sat together was in the the interview process after the draft. After his college season, where he was still rehabbing. But it's the same guy, same depth of character. I really just happen to like him a lot. And so, and plus all the talent, I'm really excited for him to be here.
Heading into the season, how do you kind of view this tight end position? I think you got 4 of them on the roster. I know you use 2 at times, but do you have a clear-cut starter there, and how do you kind of see everybody's role shaking out?
They all kind of do different things. I think, again, here we are. Who can help on special teams? That's going to make the determining factor on who's the third tight end up. JT will certainly be out there. And then we got to see how we're going to use the rest of the guys with Mitch Evans, with James Mitchell, with Tommy Tremble. And we still have some days to kind of figure that out. But, it is right around the corner where we do have to solidify, like when we're going into Wednesday's practice. So those decisions got to be made by Tuesday night. But I'm really happy with that group. They're a versatile group. They're tough. And I think JT has really improved himself in terms of just being a pass threat for us this offseason and this camp. So I'm really excited about that group, and it's going to be another good decision for us to make.
Do you have any more clarity on safety and where that starting spot opposite Merrick is?
We will see next week. We are practicing in different modes right now, but I just love having 3 guys that have been trained, that have been here with us, and they've all flashed in different ways, So, and that's Damani, that's Nick, that's Lathan, So all 3 guys, again, they all bring a little different flavor. Lathan is like the downhill smack you type of player. Nick is like, is the elder statesman of the group. When he talks, everyone gets organized. That's such a valuable thing, and then Damani, he just has such great range, and he's so useful in a bunch of different ways. So it's a good group.
Have you had any interesting or telling interactions with Derek Brown this summer?
I just think the whole, just his whole approach to this season. He wants to win. He wants to win bad. He wants to win right now. And I can feel his presence on the defensive side. This is how we're going to practice, and this is how we're going to play. It's infectious to have him out there because he just works so hard. He chases everything down. He doesn't take any play off. He gets through. If he has a good pass rush, he redirects and chases the ball down the field. If he has a good run play, he fits up. He kind of just redirects and follows the running back, and just he's getting himself in game shape. He's showing everybody what it looks like to extend the play through the echo of the whistle. You and I both know plays don't always just stop at the point of contact. Sometimes special running backs will break a tackle. A receiver may make somebody miss, so we have to have everybody in pursuit, and he brings that tenacity and that work ethic to our group.
If last year you guys told JT that he had to earn getting that number 0, for some guys, roster numbers or jersey numbers are important to them. Do you have any cool stories maybe about you personally and wearing a jersey number in high school or college, or dealing with a player when you were, I know that's kind of like out of left field, but like any interesting jersey number stories?
I guess the fact that I wore 81 for 4 out of my 5 years in college, and my favorite number was 17, and the punter was number 17. He was our starting punter the whole time. We were the same class, and we were having lunch in our last training camps, our 5th year. I took a redshirt year. It was our 5th year. We're having lunch, just hanging out, and I just kind of commented, like I was like, man, I wanted that number, and he was like, you're wearing my high school number. And so we were kind of shocked that we hadn't had this conversation before. We're wearing each other's jersey numbers. So in a way, Kevin Kwan, I'm one of his biggest fans, and he's one of mine. So hopefully he gets to see this at some point. But anyway, that's my funny story for that.
Did you guys end up switching that?
We swapped for the season, yeah. So anyway, that's all I can really think of. And otherwise, guys kind of, I think sometimes what happens with guys, as they make these shifts in their career, I notice it with hair. Sometimes a guy will come back with a different hairstyle. I was like, something's going on here. If the guy wants a different jersey, I might just be trying to turn another leaf, And so, but for JT, it was just him working really hard, doing what we asked, and it was a cool way to reward him last year.
17.
It's just a family number. So Jeffrey Waters is my favorite player, Carson High School safety, so I chose 17, and a lot of my kids wear 17, so it's a kind of a family number. And Lizzie did, too, at soccer and when she was younger, so.
You were doing
Last
that,
one.
that 2023 draft prep, and both Hendon and Bryce were in that draft.
Yeah.
Did you happen to watch that Alabama-Tennessee game between them, or remember anything that stood out about that tape? Of
course I did, Cassidy. Are you going to bring this up? I'm sure Hendon's already brought it up in the locker room, or he may not have out of respect, but that's a touchy subject, that I'm going to just steer clear from right now. So. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
That's it.
That's it. How has, you've got a couple new faces to your left. How's that going with Cade and I guess Yash?
Great. I think the benefit, like everybody's asked and talked about this year, is the same group from last year. And so it makes it easy if whoever's in there at that moment, we just get to keep rolling and pick up right where you left off. Everybody's speaking the same language. We're all comfortable, especially, like Cade, Chandler. Those guys have been here 3-4 years now, too, together. So it just makes it easy, and it's nice.
When did you hear the news about Icky and how, off?
Concerning was it?
Yeah, we were all hanging out Saturday night, last week. Did a little get together with Rob, celebrating his birthday, and he was complaining. He was like upset stomach, wasn't eating. And then he texted, the group chat Sunday. He's like, "Hey boys, I'm going getting an appendectomy right now." We're just like, "Oh shoot!" And so we didn't know if it burst, if it didn't, whatever the story was. So finally saw him today. He's doing good. It's brutal. It's going to take his time to recover, and it's just those things happen.
When something like that comes through the group chat, do you assume it's serious or he might be trying to mess with you?
Yeah, no, it's there's definitely a lot of banter going on in there for sure. But this one, there was no talk going on in the moment, so it came through cold. So I was like, "Oh shoot!" All right, here we go. So it was scary. We're all praying for him, doing everything, keeping him thoughts, with him, and it's just good to see him back in the building today.
His first day back.
Yeah.
I know Dave said he's hopeful for next week. I mean, did you even get into that at all with it?
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, it's tough, and that's the thing too. Those things are so different for each individual that goes through them, right? And so it's just take his time, feel good. Don't be rushing in and cause yourself any more hurt doing dumb things. It's just it's a long season.
At what point did you feel the benefit of having the continuity back in the O-line room?
When did we get here? April? I mean, it's just awesome. Just to be able to pick up in the communication through last year, through that momentum we had, get into last year, with everything going there, and just the expectations that we set for ourselves. We got to raise the bar. We got to raise our level of play and continue to push this team to new heights. And I think that's just our goal every day.
With regard to keeping things going, how does that affect you guys, knowing that after you finally started to massage things into the right place, now you have that happen?
Yeah, I think it's expected. It's offensive line so brutal. You obviously you're hopeful not to lose anybody. You definitely don't expect to lose anybody with this, appendix stuff going on. But things are going to happen, and it's that next man up mentality, and we all embrace that. We all understand our roles and what it is, and we're all coaching each other up. Whether you're going left, right, center, you got to be ready to plug and play, and we can't miss a beat. And so, definitely earlier than anticipated, and not the football related way anticipated, but just part of it.
But having it happen now, does it give you a little bit added prep time as opposed to if somebody had gone down on a Sunday and had to come back?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think back last year at the Cardinals, Cade was playing center at the time, woke up sick. Brady jumped in at center. That's wake up Sunday morning, hey, you're starting the game. It's okay, here we go. So it's things that we're accustomed to. It's just part of this game, and unfortunate, but it's a brutal. Football's brutal. It sucks. It hurts, and it's a long season to get to February. So we're rolling with it.
Do you think people understand how brutal it is?
Absolutely not. No, not a chance. No way. It's so fun when you're watching on TV. It's exciting. I'm excited for this weekend. College football's back. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun watching. But even watching, Monday night games, Thursday night games, whatever it is. I still tell my wife when I'm watching, I got to pick up those NFL slates. I'm just shoot. How do I do that? That looks miserable. What's going on out there? But you get in the mode and you go play ball.
Answer that question. You keep coming back. Why?
You say that again?
I was going to say, you mentioned how brutal it is, and yet the smile on your face to do it
It's the
again.
best thing in the world. It's so twisted. We all got to be a little twisted in our heads to enjoy what we do. there's the mental challenge of it, especially at center now, breaking down a defense, seeing different things. But the physical nature of, at some point, it's just man on man, and I'm going to be better than you. And that there's nothing else in this world that you can do that's going to allow you to challenge another individual at that level. And you're not going to win every time, and that's fine. And a lot of the things I take with offensive line comes from my wrestling background, growing up wrestling. When you're on the mat, it's you versus him, and if you lose, you got no one else to blame. And so that's that mentality I try to take in the offensive line. When you're in a solo block, like, you got no one else to play. You got to do your 1/11th on the field, and when you get 11 guys coming together to do that, like, you get something pretty special.
From that physical toll perspective, does this weekend become kind of sacred because it's the last one for a long time?
Yeah, it's kind of like that last weekend before training camp. You enjoy it, you love it, then you kind of get home from church on Sunday, kind of kids are napping, and you're just like, this is it. Like, it's go time now. And so it's so Sunday scaries, right? It's like, all right, we're here, we made it. And, it's kind of that tease, because we'll come in, get that bonus day Monday, Tuesday will be a regular off day. So it's kind of that hybrid waiting around to really go get after it. But it's here. We're excited. It was a great camp. It's a long camp, and we're just excited to finally go do something meaningful now.
You got anything special planned for the weekend?
Yeah, we're celebrating the kids. Yeah, all 3 of their birthdays coming up. So our son just turned 1. Our girl turned 3. Her and I share a birthday, so I no longer have a birthday. See, when 18 years, she gets out of the house, I can celebrate again, maybe. And our son will turn 5 as well. So, we might get a little Chuck E. Cheese action. Go get after it, let them run around for a bit, and obviously church on Sunday, and just relax and enjoying the family.
Talking about mano a mano. I'm assuming you've had some of those with Derek Brown. What's it like trying to take him on?
Man, it's good having him back. There's no question about it. He's just he's a freak individual. That's just like what you got across this league. And so to be able to get practice against that, it's going to make it. It's just going to pay those dividends down the road. And he's going to beat you. Like, he's going to. Like, you got to get your hands on when you can, and you got to be good. You got to be, your body angle's got to be right, hand placement's got to be right, because he can exploit them quickly, and it's a large individual getting moving fast.
I was going to ask you what makes him special.
Yeah, he's the size, the power, the twitch, the ability to jump in and out. Like, he's got it, and for 6'5", 330, whatever he is, to move like that, it's tough.
This was another kind of curveball for Bryce with Adam leaving. How have you seen him sort of develop in terms of learning how to handle things coming at him, whether it's what he dealt with as a rookie to last year to something like this happening right before the start of the season?
Yeah, he's seen a lot in his career. So I think his ability to mature through it all, I think this is just another part for him to grow through, and his maturity throughout OTAs through his training camp. Like, he's done an awesome job of just stepping up and being great from day to day, just taking it moment by moment. And it hurts losing Adam. Like, he's just such a great locker room guy, such a great person. Family's amazing, and like, it's tough. It's the personal side of football that sucks, that nobody else will understand. Where I see Adam, was it yesterday morning, and then all of a sudden he's on a plane to Minnesota. Like, it happens that fast, and it's just that part of this world that, like, you just have to embrace, and you just count those blessings, those moments. You love them, and you see them down the road, and it's fine. And as we move on, things are going to be just fine, and we're just going to keep clicking. And Bryce has done the same thing ever since he came back playing at the end of last year. Thank you.
questions.
So, David talked about you guys meeting during the draft process. Is there anything you remember that kind of stood out to you about that conversation when you guys were going, talking, I assume at the combine?
Yeah, in the combine and top 30 visit. It was one of my most liked visits, just from the conversation that we had throughout the whole staff there, talking about the game of football and talking about life, and trying to develop in both of those stages.
Greensboro native. I mean, how good is it to be back close to your hometown?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I'm a huge family guy, so definitely a great thing to be back close to my mom and dad and brother, and just the support from everyone in the community and from the Carolinas.
What was their reaction when they found out?
They were excited. I think they were more excited than I was, but you can't get that time back that you spend with family. So anytime that I get to spend with them, that's what I do.
Do you remember watching Panthers games when you were young, and kind of what stands out in your memory about that?
I do. Cam Newton is what I vividly remember. But I also remember Steve Smith, Jake Delhomme, coming down to Greensboro and playing with a whole bunch of little kids in the open yard. So also, being around Ricky Prohl growing up, going to his camps every single year, being around his sons, it was always a lasting image in my mind of, that Panthers logo.
You were number 1 in high school. Was that because of Cam Newton?
No, that was because I had no other choice. That's the only number they had.
You asked for it here?
No, I didn't.
Were you one of those little kids in the open yard that you described?
I was. It was a big experience. What I do remember was they had an event at North Carolina A&T, and Steve Smith was out there, teaching a lot of the kids how to catch the ball. And that's a lasting impression that you'll hold on to forever. Maybe around 7 or 8.
What's the biggest takeaway you had from playing behind Jared and learning how to be a pro at that position?
Mm-hmm. Biggest takeaway is just preparation. How you prepare, how you practice, and just how you carry yourself. Not letting one play dictate the next, and just continuing to try to better yourself every single day. It might be a minute detail, it might be a huge detail, but we're going to address it at the end of the day.
Dan Campbell kind of mentioned that maybe getting a change of scenery might benefit you. How much do you believe in that, and do you think you needed a change of scenery?
That's a great question. I just try to control what I can control, come in with a great attitude, be a great teammate, and be a great leader. So now you're just taking it step by step and day by day. So now that I'm here, I'm just going to continue to get in the playbook, learn, and be ready when my number's called.
And then Canales joked that you probably haven't brought up your Alabama-Tennessee game with Bryce yet, maybe just to avoid the subject. Have you brought it up to him, and what do you remember about that game?
I think we might have talked about it once. I know we won, so.
What's your relationship like with Bryce? I'm sure y'all got to know each other during the draft process.
Yeah, me and Bryce have been cool, before the draft process, going back to the Manning camp, passing academy, and we would have long conversations, about play calls, about changing protections, about what we're seeing, IDing, the defense, and really just playing at a high level. I remember traveling to the combine. Me and Bryce, I think we might have talked for maybe 2 hours on just pass protection in the airport. But we've had a pretty good bond for a pretty long time.
What year was that when y'all first were going to the Manning Academy together?
That was 22. Mm-hmm.
Dave brought up your throwing motion. He said you have a great throwing motion. How did that develop? Is that just natural, or how have you worked on it over the
I throw every single day, except for Sunday. But yeah, I just throw every single day, literally.
You potentially might have to throw on Sunday.
In the off season, I throw every single day, no matter who's around. No matter if someone's there catching it with me, I might throw to my mom, and she might just move her hands and bat the ball down. You never know.
How's her route running ability?
It's terrible. But, she's out there trying her best.
Did you have other opportunities, and if so, why the Panthers?
Yes, I felt like this is the best option for me in my career. So selfishly, unselfishly, just making the best decision for myself.
Expand on why you thought it was the best opportunity.
Just wanted to go somewhere I wanted and wanted to develop and learn. And coach, told me that he would like me to come learn under him. And we have a great bond from the draft process. Just reminiscing on those talks that we had then. I'm eager to learn from him.
Based on what Dave said, you're really wanted here. I'm just curious, do you have any other relationships on the team that you kind of leaned on when you just got here today?
Yeah, seeing Cade Mays, Tennessee guy, Josh Neisman, played with him at Virginia Tech, James Mitchell, played with him at Virginia Tech, Boogie Basham, him being from that Roanoke area and playing at Wake Forest. I'm near his hometown, he's near my hometown. So we just naturally connected over the years. And then Bryce as well. So it's been pretty comfortable here in day one.
More, please.
Can you say how many other opportunities you had?
No.
Pre-draft process and even now, what was it, or is it, in your interaction with Dave that you feel you connect most with?
I don't know. That's a great question. I just feel like the energy has just matched over the years. Anytime we see each other, it's mutual love. And I don't know. I really can't describe it. It's just the energy just feels right.
You seem pretty comfortable on the field. You had a handshake. Who did you have the handshake with?
Oh, with James Mitchell?
Yeah.
We've been doing that for some years now. So playing with him at Virginia Tech and then playing with him at the Detroit Lions, we've had a special bond.
Do you call him the governor still?
Yes, I do. He doesn't like that, but
Why doesn't he like it?
he's a humble guy. He's not gonna play into, oh, you're boosting my head up, but he's the governor. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.